I've decided to harvest the second bag of potatoes, partly because half of the stems and the leaves in it seem to have died, and I don't know if that's because of some kind of a bug or a disease, or if that's a natural process. I may have put two or more than two, like three potatoes in there, so it's possible that some of the tubers have come to the end of their life cycle, while others are still continuing to grow. But I'm curious, I want to see what's inside there, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest this. This one's good. It's pretty dry. There's another rotten one there. Small ones. So it seems like some of them had some rot, but others are healthy. Oh, there's another one. Oh, that's a nice sized one. Let's see some more. There's one more. Here's another one. So these are the ones that are connected to the healthy stems, and were still growing. It seems like the ones that were affected were the ones that were attached to the ones that the stems that had died out. But I'm seeing a lot of small and medium-sized potatoes. There's another one. And these small potatoes are actually delicious, because they're small, they're tender. See, that's a seed potato or that has rotted. It could be either situation, I'm not sure. So there's another nice sized one. It's like being on a treasure hunt in some ways. There you go. So this is what I'm talking about. These are still growing, and of course if I left them in there, they would have continued to grow. But I was worried about, and that's I think this is part of the problem. I was worried about the potatoes rotting in the soil if I left them there too long, so I'm harvesting them now because these are edible, these are perfectly fine and can be used. But if I left them in the bag, this is what might have happened to all of them. I'm guessing these are some of the bigger potatoes that have rotted. So I'm still harvesting something. I'm getting a harvest out of this, which is not bad considering that I didn't buy any of the seed potatoes this year because of COVID-19, and the local nursery, which was my favorite, closing this year. I just couldn't get to place like a local nursery, another local nursery that I could get seed potatoes from in time. And I thought about getting them online, but then I decided to wait and see how things were turning out, because I wasn't sure whether I would be able to get like good quality stuff online. And then these potatoes that I had bought from a local organic store sort of sprouted while they were sitting in a paper bag in the pantry, and I decided, well, let's try and harvest these. Let's see if I can use them as seed potatoes. So that's what I did. Here's another one. Growing potatoes in grow bags is actually, I think, what I prefer, because I did grow them in the ground last year. That worked out really well. I got a really nice harvest, some decent sized potatoes last year, but it's more work because digging those potatoes out of the ground is definitely not as much fun as this, where I've put this bin on top of my table. I'm standing and I'm comfortably harvesting potatoes. I'm not bending over. These are not hurting in any which way. And I'm also not digging into the soil, so I'm not causing any kind of disturbance. And this soil, which is more like sawdust in some parts right now, I let it sit and I'll be able to reuse it easily next season. So I let it sit and heal and let the ecosystem find its balance again. And then I'll be able to use it next year. Now I know some people will say if it has disease, why use it next year? And that's a good point. So I might do some research on it, but I am leaning towards just letting the soil rest for a few months and then using it again next year, because I do like to repurpose things in the garden. Okay, I think that's it. I don't really see anything else. Right, I'm gonna harvest another bag. Again, the leaves are still green, but every single one of these stems is drooping over. It's a sign that there's some problem, and I don't want this to transfer to the other bags where I'm growing potatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these. See if I can get at least some harvest out of this bag. Although I'm not really hopeful. Let's see. That's part of gardening. There'll always be some successes and there'll be some not so successful ventures. Although I'm surprised I haven't even had to dig deep, and there you go. I already see 4 potatoes. Not bad at all. Okay, let's dig some more. Wow, this bag looks pretty good. Check that out. Maybe I got to it just in the nick of time and I'm able to save. Alright, let's see, where was I? Okay, so I'm harvesting. This bag actually seems to be full of potatoes, which is very cool. And there they go again. There, that's the seed potato. This big guy here. And unlike the other bags that I've harvested so far, this one actually seems to be intact. So I don't know, maybe because there wasn't enough moisture in the soil, because it's pretty dry even though we've just had a rain shower. Alright, let's see. Yeah, so that's the seed potato, and like I didn't cut up the potatoes, I just planted them whole, and you can see that it's just covered with stems that are shooting out of it, a dense root structure. It's just a lot of growth. And if I had left this bag intact, maybe the potatoes would have grown larger. Maybe it was just a factor of moisture. So I'm actually gonna let the other bags alone, just keep an eye on them. If they show signs of disease, I'll go ahead and harvest them. But for now, I think these 2 bags should be more than enough. I'm gonna sift through the soil and see if I can find any more that I might have missed the first round. Let's see. Yep, I think that's it. That's again a decent amount of potatoes from 2 bags. Good stuff.